meeting to order. This is a special Commissioners Court meeting for the County of Starr, Monday, October 15th. Let the record show that we do have quorum, everyone being present. And I'd like to thank y'all and welcome you to this meeting. If everyone will please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a short meeting. First item is to approve the November 6th temporary employee, election of temporary employees.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is the list for the temporary election workers that we're gonna have for the election.
And this is our presiding judge or what?
No, they're runners. They're the ones that help us out to take the machines to the side. And we have to hire temps there in the office for some documents that we have to send for a request.
So these are the people that are gonna be working in your office?
Yes. And also the runners, the ones that takes the machines to the site.
I know you lost Leticia Garcia, did you replace her?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, sir.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the list.
So move, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4 is an action item, this to authorize Commissioner Science to enter into an earnest money contract for the purchase of the old Medina building and authorizing payment of earnest money. Commissioner.
We're checking with the bank, Judge. I think Victor reviewed the contract for the,
Yes, Judge, Commissioners, I've reviewed the contract. It's a standard earnest money contract. It would be $5,000 that we would have to deposit into the earnest money. 30 days, they should provide us title. It's unremarkable. The only issues would be the timing of matters to get everything into place and secure the financing.
Now, this financial would be like the building and,
building of the property.
yeah, but the same thing that was done in San Isidro.
Yeah, with the annex. Except I was requesting 10 years, but they said I need to talk to Zapa or his CEOs in the valley, because they're requesting that they can go only 7 years.
You go, do your financing, you go through the bank too. Eh?
Through the bank.
To the bank.
Yeah, I think you can go for 7 years and ask for a balloon note at the end of 7 and then finance it for another 5, 7.
Maybe we can get together with Zapa
Sure.
sometime this week. We
Okay.
can move forward in that. I'd like to make a motion to authorize myself with the authority to enter into the earnest money contract for the purchase of the Medina building and authorizing payment of earnest money.
Second motion, Your Honor.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5 is executive session, so it is 10:07. And pursuant to section 551.074, we will now go into executive session to discuss and take possible, well, for discussing order of salaries. Thank you. It is 10:45 and we're back in open session. Under order of salaries, I guess we'll entertain a motion to approve order of salaries as
Second
corrected
motion.
or as amended.
Motion to approve.
Motion,
Second.
second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor, please, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. President, I'll entertain a motion to do away with the pledge of allegiance, we've already done it.
Move to do with the pledge.
Wait, what?
With the pledge, we've already
Same
pledged.
day. Another motion.
I've got a motion to dispense with it, is there a second? All in favor, please, aye.
I won't know, Your Honor.
Huh?
I'm a patron. I won't know.
Yeah, we can pledge, let's go ahead.
They
I
can't.
make the motion.
¿Para qué?
Go ahead.
Yo no me voy a parar.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yo viví en cárcel,
Yo no me levanto.
pasar
Está levántate.
por Beto Rojo.
Beto.
Okay, item 3 is to elect officers for the drainage district for 2018-19 fiscal year.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to nominate Judge Vera as our president for the Drainage District 2018-2019. I would also like to nominate Mr. Eloy Garza as vice president for the Drainage District 2018-2019. And also, I would like to nominate Mr. Ruben Designs as secretary for the Drainage District 2018-2019.
I'll take it on.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4 is an action item to adopt a budget for the drainage district for 2018-19.
Your Honor, based on not having any officers nor knowing about the staff we might need, I would like to table this agenda item at this time, so we can figure out what we're gonna need for the drainage district budget.
No, your staff, what do we need staff for?
Well, Your Honor, I mean, Mr. Garza, it's very difficult. We're gonna be running our precincts, be running the board, and then having to do the same work ourselves. You need engineers, either hire them as contract laborers or hire them as however you wanna call it, but we need engineers and we need somebody
But
to,
we need a budget.
we need a budget, but we don't know what we're gonna hire, that's what I'm telling
Yes,
you.
pero está diciendo staff. When you're talking about staff, you're talking about hiring somebody. We're not a fed farm here, man. We need to control this stuff that we create new positions for not doing nothing. I mean, you don't have to have a staff here, hire somebody making $40,000-$50,000 a year to operate this
Well, we
thing.
need to know what we're gonna budget.
Even for advertising, for engineers, you're gonna need a budget.
You're gonna need a budget.
Hold on,
That's what
wait a
I'm
minute,
telling
that's gonna
you.
say, what are we gonna do? It's going to say, we already have we know where the problem is. We already know where the problem is, okay? And like I said, yes, we need to do, we're four commissioners, we all four have problems, okay?
Yes, but-
And you have your problem out there, okay? Then you don't have to go out there and hire an engineer to do, they gonna cost you $500,000 so much. You can just hire one engineer to go show you,
Right.
to give you directions how to divert that water that you wanna
But
do.
I think
Okay, so you're gonna-
the issue is a budget, Your Honor. Just who's gonna create this budget? Who's gonna work on this budget?
Tú eres el dueño officer.
Who's gonna do it?
El president.
I can do the budget, it's only $2 million, not like it's a lot of money.
Como quiero me pasa.
Monday?
Como quiero me la queja.
No. But again,
Where's it
I
gonna
think
be headed?
yeah, we're getting into a discussion where we don't have,
Well, that's what I'm
we
saying,
need to
but I
know
think,
the money, how much we need. Now, one thing that I would suggest is that we could have, for example, so much engineering, so much construction, so much, and it doesn't mean that we're gonna spend it all in that, you know. But at least we know how it's gonna be broken down, más o menos, so we can tell the public what our thoughts are as to the expenditures. Now, granted, we might have construction, but we cannot have construction until we have a design.
Right.
And we cannot have a design until we have engineers, and,
Right.
you know, ya iba.
okay, just, okay, going back, and I agree with you on that. But how are we, this drainage issue is up to the whole county to 4%,
Right.
4 commissioners. We all have needs in our precinct.
I agree.
How are we gonna, let's say we're gonna put in construction money, so much money,
Okay.
it's gonna be divided
Glad
equally
you
by
asked that
4.
question, Commissioner. Mira, my thought has always been that we need a countywide drainage study, and let me explain why. For one, that study will allow us and authorize us to force developers to come into an area that want to build a subdivision. We can tell them, okay, our master plan shows that we're gonna have a drainage going through here, and we need 200 feet of right of way. They have to give it to us. If not, they cannot develop. But we need to have a study that shows that, how much runoff is gonna be coming, you need that. We also need, and again, I'm getting off the subject, but we need the same thing for major thoroughfares, for roads, where we can force, we need to get control of our future developments. And I'm talking future 20, 50 years from now, how this county is going to look like. And without the studies, we can never have it. It's gonna cost some money, but there's monies out there through Water Development Board and others that we can leverage some of the drainage district money to do it, 80/20s, whatever, to where our cost would be a lot less than if we had to pay for that full study. But I think a study is of major importance countywide, because like you said, this drainage district is not for Roma, Escobares, La Casita, Rio Grande, it's for the whole county. And we see, by having this study, the other positive thing is that it will show us where we get the most bang for our dollar. We only have so much money, so we cannot fix todo el condado al mismo tiempo. But if it shows that in this particular area, with $500,000, you can benefit 5,000 beneficiaries, versus this area with 500,000, you benefit 25 beneficiaries, but then that pretty much determines where we want to spend our money to take care of the most people more efficiently and effectively. But all this has to be determined by engineers or people that are trained to do this kind of work. That's my take.
And I'm gonna interject on that, like I said, how many beneficiaries, but the taxpayers, the money is being paid by the taxpayers' money. It doesn't matter if you benefit 25 or so, the problem is there. And the money came in from the whole precinct, the whole countywide. So we cannot just say, because we got 50 in Roma, and only we got 10 here in La Victoria. I mean, that's not right. We need to take care of this 10 too, equally, just like anybody else.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that would be the case, Commissioner. Those 10 have to be taken care of also. But if our resources are only such, well, then we want to spend it, I would think, that's my opinion. And also, if we're going to spend $500,000 here to help 500 people, but we cannot spend $500,000 to help 10. We might be able to spend 50,000.
Commissioner Peña, if we table this right now, when are we gonna get a budget done so we can?
Once they have it
We
ready.
can say,
Once the president has it ready, he says he's gonna work on it.
I can have it in a week.
I think Commissioner Judge, I think we're delving into the actual meat of the actual budget itself, and the philosophy for the district. At this point, I think we've got a motion, to move forward.
Table.
So,
Well, Judge, let me go on the discussion, because it's just not ready to, I mean, like right now, at this point in time, we have that project up there in Alto Bonito that we're trying to take care of the drainage. We have one in Chaparral, which the property owner has agreed to let us build a pond there, a retaining pond in his own property to alleviate that flooding there. So, I mean, I can't wait to do a study to tell me where the problem is. Well, it's been in existence for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, and I'm not saying to wait for the study. We need to fix whatever we need to right now. But at some point, we do need a study. Because if anywhere we go to Washington, we go to Austin, we go wherever, the first thing they're gonna say is, how do you know you need this?
And like I said, and I agree with, I don't really agree with it, but I'm pretty sure that, I mean, you got the vote to go do that, but I'm saying, I'm trying to take care of my precinct, like I said.
I'm not pushing any area.
No, like I said.
I represent the whole county.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, but we got, like I said, I got those problems, we got them right now. I
And
don't
they need
have
to
a
be
study.
taken care of. I know those problems, and they need to be
Okay,
taken
so
care
you
of. Yeah.
Judge, I'm gonna second the motion because I think we're spending money that we haven't budgeted yet.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to table. Any further discussion? All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Bendito Dios.
Motion carries.
Very much.
Okay, item 5, I guess we discussed it, is to request qualifications for engineering relating to a development for a master drainage plan.
Okay, this one, Your Honor, I would like to table until we have a budget. Once we have a budget, then we can request qualification for engineering. So my motion is to table at this time.
Second.
Moved and second to table, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 is to discuss the preparation of rules relating to review and approval of proposed drainage plan submitted by property development.
Okay, this is just a discussion, Your Honor, based on what you just said a couple of minutes ago, that we need to look into the future. By that, I understand that we need to start looking into our floodways and wherever the floodplains are, if we're gonna allow development or we're not gonna allow development. So, but in order to do that, we need our master drainage plan. So that's why this is just into a discussion. I don't know what the other commissioners.
There was an article in the Monitor, Judge, about 3 weeks ago, where Hidalgo County was passing something like this, a very interesting article.
Yeah, we need to get our drainage district in order for not to have any more problems like the one we're having right now in precinct 1 and precinct 2.
And it's only discussion, like Commissioner Penn said, Judge,
It's only a
but we need to
discussion.
stop issuing permits in the problem area.
Yeah, that's
If we got 4,000 people flooding, why do we need 5,000?
One of the things, commissioners, that, what happens when the drainage district is actually functioning, and once you, if and when you all adopt these rules, it becomes essentially that anybody that will be developing will have to come to the drainage district in order to, whether it be in the municipality or outside in the county where it's unincorporated, they will have to come to the drainage district to get approval for those designs in the floodways, to ensure that we don't have the problems that we have now. That people building in the floodways, in the spillways, in the 100-year floodplains. So that's one of the things that I think that the commissioners, or rather the drainage district, should look into adoption of those rules and regulations.
I would like to add something to the discussion at this time.
It's only discussion.
It's only a discussion, no, nada de. This is what Roma annexed, what I just gave you guys. This is what Roma annexed in Escobares. And as you guys can see, towards the north part of it, they annexed into the floodplain. So I'm just gonna show you a little chart. This is the FEMA map that we have. So, this is our floodplain. This is where we're gonna build a canal based on Commissioner Alves precinct 1 and precinct 2. So aquí está North Escobares, you can see where North Escobares is at. So si se brinca right here, all of this area is annexed by Roma. You can see it goes all the way up to.
But because it was annexed, that doesn't mean they can build.
No, por eso, that's why we're talking about the rules we're talking about. Once we have those rules in place, we gotta look at the FEMA map to understand where our floodplains are in order to allow permits or not allow permits. Porque if not, we're gonna have these guys, based on Roma, going to apply for a permit in Roma, and we're not gonna count over here, and then when they build in the floodplain, where's that water gonna go? Para atrás, para las comunidades.
And let me add to that, Commissioner, this FEMA maps were done in 1974, 78. I know, I used to use them quite a bit. Now, just because that is the limit that map shows, does not necessarily mean that it's not wider now. So that flood area might be a lot bigger than is shown there. And this is where this board has to look at and say, ¿sabes qué? Even though you're outside zone A, but we have past history that shows that this area floods and we won't approve it. But this is certainly a very good first.
And where is Roma on this project here? I mean, where's the participation there? There must be the problem.
That's the thing, I understand, que Roma.
We're looking here.
Roma annexed into North Escobares, yet not knowing that what they're annexing goes into a floodplains. Now, I don't know if they have,
Yeah, no, lo que estoy diciendo, Commissioner. Where is Roma participating on this project because they are dropping water into those places that you're flooding. So the city of Roma needs to come on board to get this think
I'm
solved.
with you, I'm with you. But if the drainage district, once we, like, we already started and everything, drainage district will overlap any ruling that Roma has. Drainage district has more say-so than Roma.
I understand, Commissioner, but I'm trying to tell you,
Yeah,
monetary wise, what is their, right now, their point of view on helping you to get this project going?
well, yeah, they helped me with some dump.
No, but money wise, right? No,
I'm
look
with
at
you.
that, see, we have a
No,
problem.
pasar un budget.
Pero espérate,
Let
no,
me tell
we
you
have a
what-
problem, we have a problem that they encounter too, so why shouldn't they come in and pitch in to fix the problem?
I'm with you.
Yeah, and Roma has, Commissioner, Roma has.
They've been doing it, they've acquired land, and they have a
And
plan.
Friend Ramirez, they're doing, as we speak, a storm sewer project that's gonna take a lot of the water that comes into here.
To our canal.
They're gonna be catching it before it gets to our canal, so that's gonna help us. What we're trying to catch is the water coming from the north,
Over here, early.
that is outside the city. We're trying to catch that water, so it does not get down to where all the houses are.
That will be-
But I'm sure Roma will participate.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, same thing, like Rio Grande, they go all the way to the railroad track, and the Rio goes all the way to Garcia Camp, I think.
¿Qué tiene eso que ver allá con esto? Judge,
It's the same thing.
No es variando.
What-
Ahorita, Judge, when you do the budget for construction, I hope that we include everything, like the problem that we got up there.
Well, again, Commissioner, all I'm going to do is put money for this, for that, for that, for that. Now, you guys will determine where you want the money. I just need to come up with a different line item
Okay.
of the different things that we might encounter. And then I need to find out how much money we have. By the end of this year, beginning of next year, we'll have an additional $300,000-400,000. I'll budget that in, and then, and again, I cannot overstress. If I say right away $500,000, doesn't mean we need to spend $500,000. We buy only what is absolutely needed, porque if not, we're not gonna do anything. That's a little piecemealing.
And I agree with you, Judge, this will not even, it will not even band-aid the problems that we have.
And just going back to what Commissioner Alvarez said earlier about the changes that they're making in Hidalgo County. For a couple of years, we've had developers from Hidalgo County coming and developing land
Yes.
here already. And as the rules get stricter over there, they're gonna be looking for easier access to develop more property.
Yeah, and
And
I've
those are
had,
things we need to be on top of.
I've had several heated discussions with these people, because you're right, they wanna come over here and tell us how to do it. One of the discussions that I've had is that the model rules and regulations call for anything over 10 acres do not fall under a subdivision ruling. Well, we passed that, we moved it to 20, and they say, you can't do that. Of course we can. The 10 is the minimum. We could go to 50 if we
We
want.
made a mistake, we should have gone to 50.
And that's what Hidalgo is now doing with the drainage. They're making it more stringent as to the developer. And I think that's correct. The developer is the one making the profit. The developer makes the money, and then he wants the county to fix it. Well, that doesn't work that way.
And as the rules get tighter over there, they'll be looking for easier opportunity to develop land.
And so we need to hold our ground. We cannot, I got threatened that I would get sued, and in fact, they got together, we're looking for lawyers. Do it, but we need to hold our ground, so we're gonna end up with a hell of a mess. Anything else on that? Okay, that was item 6. So, I guess that was the discussion, right?
Discussion.
Okay.
Second.
Item 7 is discussion regarding Arroyo Moreno. That's, I guess, what you gave us here.
Yeah, well, on mine, I'm like an 85% almost done with the restoration project. I have not been contacted by the committee yet. They have told me they wanted to go see, but nobody hasn't been called to see how things are going. I did discuss it with them. I did explain that we're following through. As long as we can build a barrier strong, and make it strong enough, I think it'll hold, but we will need to talk to the engineers about that property with that barrier, because it is a very, very big risk having that barrier.
Let me say something publicly, and I know I'm gonna get my foot stuck in my mouth, but that's fine. You know, I'm getting to where it's so frustrating. But, and that's about this committee, Commissioner. You know, this committee, you know, I think we bend over backwards trying to show them we want to work with them. We'll listen to their ideas, we'll discuss it with them. But now I'm getting to the point that I feel they want to tell the court what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and that's never going to happen.
They won't
I'm
tell me.
speaking to the public. That's never going to happen. This commissioner's court will rule all the time. Now, either you all get your ducks in a line in a row, or, you know, we could very easily say, you know what, we've listened enough, now we're gonna do what we want. We don't wanna do that. But you all need to work with us. This is the governing body, and that is how it's going to be. And I don't care who likes it or who doesn't like it, that's how I feel.
And I agree with the judge. I started working at the eastern part of the problem of the Arroyo, and in precinct 1, I am the committee. I am the committee. There's no other committee.
Judge, I let him know last time that I was there, and I told him, I mean, there was another guy who said, I think we heard it out, you need to work with the commissioner, he's told you he's working on it, you need to work with him. Coming down here ain't gonna help you, or building committees or approving committee, paperwork does nothing, you need to have actions on the ground. Let me ask, where are you at with the condemnation of the Peña's property?
We're securing the RFQs, the request for qualifications from the appraisers, because we do need certified appraisals in order to go ahead and proceed with condemnation. That's the time-consuming part.
What's the timeline for that?
We should have somebody, I believe, it says right here. Well, what's the timeline more or less for?
They have to be publicized for 2 weeks.
So we're looking at about maybe about 30 days, Commissioner.
Judge, and
But
that's
that's where it'd be filed on court and everything.
Oh, that, Commissioner, once we get the actual value of the property with a certified appraisal, then we can actually file it, because we have to send them what is called a bona fide offer. And if they reject the bona fide offer, then we'll go to court.
Okay, that's what
on
I know that procedure. But what's the timeline to do
I
all
would
that?
say 90 days, Commissioner.
90 days,
Give or
for
take.
mid next year.
No, that's all just next
Well,
year.
we're already over, we ain't got much time for this year.
No, I understand.
on the progress done, Judge, I'm having a hard time getting the heavy machinery to start excavating or clearing the brush. But with this rain, it's gonna back us up even more.
Well, let's see, we raise 5 inches and we work, see how that burn hole.
I
See what's going on.
just felt like I had to say that because I am getting frustrated.
And I agree with you, Judge, you know, it has to be done, and
We're doing the best we can with what we have. If it's not good enough, ni modo, you know, desgraciadamente we're not.
Like I said, I should be finished like 1 or 2 more days, but nobody ever has contacted me.
well, the problem is that they think that they come to the court is gonna put some pressure on it, on the court.
Well, they come to put pressure, but yet they don't follow up at home.
But I don't know.
And I don't see it as a committee, you know, it's 3 or 4 people, and they say they're a committee, but I've talked to some of the people that are supposed to be in the committee, and they say they don't even let us know. So I think it's 3 or 4 people trying to use the commissioner's court for political gain, and I will not be party to that.
They got the hidden agenda.
Anyhow, I guess I got off subject. but,
No, they don't get.
Anything else on the Royal Moreno restoration?
We're doing good. No action.
No. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Your
Second.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for